We've been talking about lawsuits for a long time. We've been waiting for normalization in the cannabis industry, and we're seeing a lot more things going normal, I guess, from incorrect valuations to maybe not following the lines, like with Snoop Dogg's investments, Eaze, a delivery service. We're talking about how the former CEO is being charged a $100 million cannabis pay processing case.
It's only entertainment.
Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, Capital Markets Analyst and host of your Cannabis Business Podcast. Dive into this article from Benzinga is Katrina Glogowski, angel investor and attorney. Katrina, thanks for being on the Talking Hedge.
Thanks, John.
So you're kind of familiar with this case, but for those that aren't, basically federal prosecutors are charging former Eaze Technology CEO, which is kind of the differentiator. Normally a company kind of gets sued. This time they're going after the individual. So this case is about $100 million credit card based cannabis payments issues. What's being alleged?
Josh, simply put, and this is a simplification, but simply the individuals involved at Eaze encouraged their customers to lie as to what the business that they were doing was. So a credit card company, if you sell clothes, you have a code for the credit card company. If you sell liquor, you have a code, etc. And because cannabis is not federally legal, there is no code. So in order to use a credit card for a cannabis business, they would have to lie about the code. And lying about the code is what got these individuals, this company, this individual, and their customers in some trouble because it's fraud.
How many people in Oklahoma alone are claiming to be a merchant of something other than medical marijuana right now? Out of 7,500, I'm going to guess at least one third, if not half, are taking credit cards, just like Washington State did for the longest time. I miss getting my miles for cannabis. That was amazing.
It's actually a very common practice, and that's why it's important for our listeners to understand that it is a crime. You have a lot of federal regulations at work here. You have wire transfer issues. You have 280E is implicated in some of this. You also have RICO, the racketeering. That's how they brought down the mobsters. And they are, in fact, charging Mr. Patterson from Eaze with some RICO violations. You have money laundering. You have Know Your Customer, KYC, which all falls under the Bank Secrecy Act, BSA. Yes, I know I'm throwing a lot of acronyms out there because that's what gets you in trouble when you lie about something as simple as the code. And so we need to understand that they're not alleging anybody stole any money. They're not alleging that people weren't paid. That's not what this case is about. This case is about lying about the product code on the credit card processing machine in violation of all of those acronyms, and he got caught. And it is a very widespread practice, Josh, as you mentioned. A third of them in Oklahoma probably. But what we see more often is people just flat out lie, and they say that they're like a quickie mart and they're selling beverages and candies. And it may technically be true that you are selling a candy and a beverage, but they're cannabis infused candies and beverages, so they don't count. Or you have somebody open an ancillary business and maybe sell T-shirts or matches or lighters or something along this lines that is not touching the plant, and then they get their retailer code from the credit card company based on the T-shirts, and then they run cannabis transactions through their machine. All of this is highly illegal. Do not do it. It's not so problematic for the consumer. So when you walk in and you're the one handing your credit card to these people, I wouldn't be concerned for that person. But if you are the credit card processor, if you're the retailer running the card through the machine at a cannabis business, uh, you're going to get caught eventually. And if you look at Bazinga's article, Josh, they're looking at seizing tens of millions of dollars of assets under RICO, and the penalties are severe. Do not do it.
I think the biggest difference is that he got caught. Like you mentioned, the charges actually haven't even been revealed, but he's expected to plead guilty, which could then bring the feds in and take all kinds of assets. So Eaze actually hasn't been charged with cooperating. They're actually cooperating, but they haven't been officially charged. The individual has, which I find interesting. He stepped down in 2019, but they say it's not reported to any investigations. But rather layoffs and a changing in company focus. When was the last time you heard about layoffs and they're like, CEO, you got to go? Like, never, ever has that ever happened. So obviously something they found out internally and they're like, oh, we just, just dealing with this. It's fine. What ended
Well,
up, I was going to say what ended up tripping up this whole federal investigation was actually a competitor. So they were sued by an in-state delivery brand claiming that they had gained market advantage using those transactions and shell companies for credit card payments. So that case went to mediation and was dismissed. But then they must have gone back, pushed for federal, and then now federal investigators are looking at it. So this was actually a competitor who was pissed off, found that they were using unfair advantages, and then sued. It wasn't even the feds who figured that out, which I kind of find funny.
well, that's where your, wink and nod. A lot of people in the industry do this. It's not just Eaze, and federal regulators are sort of slow to pick up on it. But that also outlines the danger even further. If you are a cannabis retailer and you are taking credit cards, that includes online credit cards, uh, you should be aware of this because number one, it's against the law. But number two, your competitor can call and say, this isn't right. Yeah, it's against the law. And it's a ticking time bomb. No credible cannabis company is going to be able to openly take your credit card. Now let's differentiate between a credit card and a debit card. So don't everybody in the universe get all mad at me because you can use your Chase Visa down at the corner dispensary. I mean a credit card where you're getting airline miles. That's not legal. It is not legal, and do not do it.
Yeah, much different. There's a credit card or a debit machine ATM. You can go and get cash out. So the lack of convenience or whatever isn't worth losing everything. So definitely be in compliance, all of that good stuff. But with that, we're gonna roll this one up. I want to thank my guest Katrina Glogowski, angel investor and attorney. Thanks for being on the Talking Hedge.
Thanks, Josh.
I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't. And I'm out. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.